Turkey and Finland. Two countries, two completely different energies. In one, life feels like a constant conversation, full of gestures, emotions, last-minute plans, and a strong sense of togetherness. In the other, silence is a form of respect. People value calm over chaos, and the idea of not disturbing others is almost sacred. These differences go beyond culture or climate. They shape how people wake up, how they work, how they rest, and how they connect, even if they're sitting in the same office. Just imagine it. In Turkey, the day might begin with the smell of strong coffee, a neighbor calling out from the balcony, and your phone buzzing before you even get out of bed. Messages, family chats, last-minute changes. Everything is fluid, spontaneous, and full of life. Meanwhile, in Finland, mornings are quiet. You hear the wind, maybe birds. You sip your tea in total peace. No one's rushing you. No one's calling. And no one expects you to reply before you're ready. Now fast forward to the office. In Turkey, people might greet each other with hugs or loud good mornings. Someone brings in breakfast for everyone. There's noise, laughter, maybe even a bit of chaos. In Finland, you might sit next to someone for hours, exchanging just a few quiet words. But that doesn't mean there's no connection. It just looks different. One culture thrives on emotional expression, another on emotional control. One feels like a warm embrace, the other like deep inner stillness. And yet, both systems work. So today, we're going to spend one full day in each country. We'll walk through the morning rituals, the commute, the office life, the lunch breaks, the small interactions, all the way until the evening wind down. And along the way, you'll notice something fascinating. It's not just about how people work, it's about what they value. In one country, flexibility and connection are everything. In the other, structure and space are the foundation of comfort. By the end of this video, you might realize that the place you thought would be more comfortable isn't the one that actually feels right to you. Speech balloon, so let me ask you, where would you feel more at ease? In the vibrant, expressive rhythm of Turkey, or the calm, focused flow of Finland? Stick around, the answer might surprise you. Let's begin. In Turkey, the day doesn't begin quietly, it begins with life. Most people wake up around 7 o'clock or 7:30 a.m., but it's rarely a peaceful solo routine. The first thing many Turks do is check their phones, family group chats, voice messages from friends, news updates. Communication starts early, and it's rarely just about work. Even while still in bed, it's common for people to start replying to texts with voice notes, their morning voice and all. Breakfast is sacred, not rushed. A traditional Turkish breakfast can include bread, olives, cheese, tomatoes, cucumbers, honey, eggs, and of course, strong black tea served in tulip-shaped glasses. In many homes, breakfast is a shared moment, even on workdays, a time to connect before everyone goes their separate ways. If there's time, someone might fry a few eggs with sukuk, Turkish sausage, or bring fresh simit from the bakery downstairs. The general vibe in the morning, lively, warm, sometimes chaotic. People don't hide their feelings. If someone's stressed, you'll see it. If someone's excited, you'll feel it. That openness sets the tone for the day. Some people leave their homes already discussing weekend plans with coworkers via voice memos. Some workers even start the day with music playing in the background, windows open, and neighbors calling out across balconies. There's an intimacy to Turkish mornings, a sense that you're part of something bigger than just yourself. The lines between private and shared space feel more fluid. You may hear the news echoing from a living room, smell breakfast being made 3 floors down, or wave to your doorman while brushing your teeth on the balcony. Bus commute. Most Turkish workers commute by car, bus, metro, or dolmuş, a kind of shared minibus. In big cities like Istanbul, traffic is a daily challenge. But even there, the energy is social. On the way to work, people might chat with strangers, scroll through Instagram, reply to voice notes, or call a friend just to say good morning. Some just sit quietly and sip tea from a thermos while looking out the window. But no matter how crowded it is, the commute has a rhythm, noisy, unpredictable, and full of real, human interaction. Turkish cities are alive in the morning. Street vendors selling simit, a sesame-covered bread, music from shop radios, and people weaving in and out of alleys on scooters. Even in the routine, there's movement and color. There are spontaneous interactions, Someone might recommend a podcast, share a story, or offer you a piece of gum with a joke. In smaller cities or towns, people often walk to work, greeting shopkeepers along the way. These commutes are filled with small rituals, buying a newspaper, saying good morning to the tea vendor, or stopping for a few quiet minutes in a mosque courtyard. Adult briefcase start of the workday. Work typically starts around 9 a.m., though it depends on the industry. Offices in Turkey can range from modern co-working spaces to traditional buildings with character. Some people even work in converted apartments, giving their workplaces a very homey feeling. You'll often find an open space culture, but with less formality than in northern countries. It's common to hear laughter, someone offering tea, or even a spontaneous discussion about last night's football game. Hierarchy exists, but relationships are more personal than rigid. A manager might greet you with a warm smile and ask how your mother is doing, not just out of politeness, but because they genuinely care. It's not uncommon to have a 10-minute catch-up before diving into tasks. Meetings can start late, run long, and shift topics quickly. There's a fluidity in the way things happen, which can be stressful for some, but refreshing for others. Sometimes, workdays begin not with a meeting, but with tea and a chat. It's a cultural ritual, the idea that connection must come before productivity. Someone might walk around offering biscuits or chocolate. It's small, but meaningful. If something breaks in the office, a printer, an air conditioner, expect the whole team to rally around to fix it. There's a kind of group improvisation at play. People rely on intuition, relationships, and collective problem-solving. For a knife would plate lunch and breaks. Lunch usually happens between 12:30 and 1:30 p.m., and it's often a social event. Some workers go out to a local lokanta, a casual restaurant with homemade dishes like lentil soup, kofta, kebab, rice, or stuffed vegetables. Others bring food from home, especially in smaller cities. In some family-run businesses, everyone eats together at one big table like a family meal. The lunch break is rarely eaten in silence. It's a time to talk, laugh, vent, and connect with coworkers, friends, or even the restaurant staff. Some people even run quick errands or stop by family if they work nearby. There's usually one main break, but tea breaks and cigarette breaks throughout the day are normal and expected. Office kitchens are always stocked with tea glasses, sugar cubes, and small spoons that clink gently through the day. In some workplaces, there's even a dedicated tea person who keeps everyone topped up throughout the day. Taking time for breaks isn't seen as slacking, it's just part of the rhythm. In fact, stepping away from your desk is often when the real bonding and even idea sharing happens. 5 o'clock end of the workday. Officially, the workday ends around 6 o'clock or 6:30 p.m., but deadlines shift. Schedules bend. Some people stay later just to finish up or help a colleague. Overtime isn't always paid, but it's often accepted, especially if you're seen as a team player. Still, most people are eager to get out and return to their real lives. There's always something waiting, a soccer match, a family dinner, or an evening plan that got finalized via WhatsApp an hour ago. Being late isn't usually a big deal. People understand that traffic, family, or life just happens. There's a flexible relationship with time, which can be freeing or frustrating, depending on your expectations. There's also a sense of collective responsibility. If someone's struggling, it's common for others to step in and help, even after hours. Work is not just about tasks, it's about people. And in many places, coworkers will text each other long after clocking out, not because they have to, but because they care. Cityscape at dusk evening. After work, Turkish people like to unwind socially. That could mean meeting friends at a cafe or bahçesi, tea garden, spending time with family, or walking along the sea if the city allows it. Some hit the gym, others play backgammon in the park or go shopping. Evenings are for connection, not just rest. People drop by unannounced, neighbors stop for a chat, and a quick coffee can easily turn into a 2-hour heart-to-heart. At home, dinner is usually a family affair, full of shared dishes, lively conversation, and at least one person insisting you take seconds. Extended family members often live close by, and sometimes under the same roof. There's often television playing in the background, kids running around, and someone preparing tea after the meal. Later in the evening, it's not unusual for friends to spontaneously gather, go for dessert, or just sit and talk for hours. Emotional support and warmth extend beyond working hours. Some people head out for a late-night walk, especially in summer. Cities don't sleep early, and neither do the conversations. Performing arts cultural details. Bosses are respected, but human. People might hesitate to openly criticize their manager, but there's usually warmth in the relationship. Titles matter, but so do feelings. You might share personal stories during lunch with your boss, and then seamlessly shift back into work mode. No strict dress code. People dress smart casual unless they're in a corporate setting. Expression is more important than uniformity. Jewelry, bright colors, and even cologne are part of personal presentation. Emotion is everywhere. Laughter, frustration, passion, it's all out in the open. Foreigners are often surprised by how open and expressive workplace culture is. People speak with their hands, raise their voices, and embrace each other with genuine emotion. Work is personal. Colleagues often become friends. You might find yourself at a coworker's birthday, their wedding, or helping them move apartments. The line between professional and personal is thinner. It's not uncommon for coworkers to call each other abla, older sister, or abi, older brother, even if they're not related. And yes, don't be surprised if someone at work invites you to a family wedding, even if you've only known them for 2 weeks. This is Turkey, a place where work and life blend, where emotion is strength, not something to hide, where connection is currency, and being part of a group means everything. For some, it's energizing. For others, overwhelming. But one thing's for sure, it's never dull. In Finland, mornings begin quietly. The alarm rings around 6:30 or 7 a.m., and there's no rush, no chaos. It's a time for peace and presence, a personal moment before stepping into the outer world. People wake up slowly. Some open the curtains to check the light or the snow outside. A typical Finnish morning isn't loud, it's intentional. Many begin the day with a moment of stillness, maybe even some breathing exercises, a few yoga stretches, or simply enjoying the view of a calm, gray sky. Others listen to classical music or ambient radio, avoiding anything that might disturb the fragile morning silence. Breakfast is simple but grounding. Oatmeal or rye bread with butter and cheese, perhaps a boiled egg, cucumber slices, or a spoonful of cloudberry jam. A hot cup of coffee is non-negotiable. Finland has one of the highest coffee consumption rates per capita in the world. People savor it slowly, in silence, often reading a newspaper or simply enjoying their solitude. Some may listen to the news on the radio or take a few quiet moments to check the weather before heading out. The vibe, still, composed, unrushed. Even families with children maintain this calm. There's no shouting across the apartment. Everyone respects each other's rhythm. You won't hear horns outside the window or neighbors calling out early in the morning. Mornings are a time of collective peace. Winter mornings are dim and quiet. People light candles at breakfast, wrap themselves in warm wool, and carry that calm energy into the day. It's common to see snow softly falling outside while the smell of fresh coffee fills the kitchen. During darker months, some families use light therapy lamps during breakfast to gently stimulate alertness. Bicycle commute. The commute is clean, efficient, and quiet. In cities like Helsinki, many people bike year-round, even in snow. Others use the metro, bus, or tram, and every form of transport is designed for comfort and low noise. Seats are heated in winter. Timetables are reliable, and delays are rare. You won't hear loud conversations or music. Everyone is in their own mental space. It's common to see passengers reading physical books, working on laptops, or simply gazing out the window with a coffee in hand. No one takes up more space than they need. If you make eye contact, it's usually accompanied by a polite smile, nothing more. What stands out most is the respect for silence. Even if the tram is full, the atmosphere is serene. You can feel people's awareness of not disturbing others. Text tones are muted. Calls are rare and conducted quietly or taken outside. In rural areas, the commute might involve walking through pine forests, taking a quiet country road, or driving past frozen lakes. For many, this is a peaceful buffer between home and work, a time to mentally prepare. Nature isn't just a backdrop in Finland, it's a coworker. The land, the trees, the stillness, all become part of the day. Some even stop for a short nature walk before entering the office. In Finland, nature is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Many offices are located close to forests or parks, allowing for lunchtime walks or even open-air meetings in the summer. Adult briefcase start of the workday. Most offices open around 8 o'clock or 9 a.m. And when work starts, it really starts. There's no lingering around. People say good morning, make a cup of coffee, and get to their desks. The mood is focused, efficient, and deeply respectful of everyone's need to concentrate. Open offices are common, but well-designed. You'll find acoustic panels, quiet rooms, soundproof booths, and soft lighting. Noise is minimized. Even keyboard clacks and chair squeaks seem quieter here. Work culture is non-hierarchical. Titles exist, but they don't create walls. A junior developer can challenge a senior manager, respectfully, of course. Everyone is expected to contribute ideas, regardless of their position. There is a strong emphasis on transparency and inclusion. It's not uncommon to receive project updates and shared digital channels accessible to all levels. Managers act more like facilitators than bosses. They listen more than they talk. Meetings are concise, often held standing, and never just for show. If it can be solved in an email, it will be. There's no micromanagement, and trust is built through competence and consistency. And silence in a meeting? It's not awkward. It means people are thinking, processing, or simply allowing space for others to speak. A 5-second pause isn't unusual, and no one feels the need to fill it with words. Pot of food, lunch, and breaks. Lunch starts early, usually between 11 a.m. and 12:00 p.m. Many offices have in-house canteens with healthy, affordable meals: salmon soup, mashed potatoes, pea soup, meatballs, roasted root vegetables, or vegan options. Water, milk, and coffee are always available. Lunch is quick but not rushed. Most people finish in 30 to 45 minutes. Conversation is minimal. Some talk softly with coworkers, others eat quietly while reading news or checking emails. It's perfectly normal to sit together and not speak at all. No one will pressure you to join a group. Eating alone is normal. The social pressure you might feel in other cultures simply doesn't exist here. And if someone chooses to eat outside or go for a solo walk, it's respected. However, coffee breaks, known as cavatako, are special. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. These are the times people step away from their desks and chat a little more openly. Still calm, still respectful, but with a slight opening of warmth. It's not just about caffeine, it's about presence. Breaks are short, but they matter. They're about rhythm, not escape. You're not escaping work, you're giving your brain a clean pause. Some people use the break to knit, stretch, or briefly step outside to breathe fresh air. 4 o'clock, end of the workday. The day ends between 4 o'clock and 5 p.m., and when it ends, it really ends. Working overtime is rare and often discouraged. Efficiency during work hours is a point of pride. There's no glory in staying late just to look busy. Instead, the reward is in results and reliability. Once the day is done, people disconnect completely. They don't check emails at dinner. They don't answer work calls on weekends. There's a shared respect for each other's personal time. You're trusted to do your job and trusted to live your life. If someone is sick, they're told to rest. If they have a family emergency, they leave without question. Work is important, but life always comes first. Many companies actively promote well-being programs, mental health awareness, and flexible schedules. Even the way Finns say goodbye reflects this mindset. No long goodbyes, no lingering small talk. Just a calm moi or hyvä ilta, and they're out the door, into fresh air, soft snow, or golden Nordic dusk. Crescent moon evening. Evenings in Finland are peaceful, simple, and slow. People head home, change into soft clothes, and prepare a light meal, perhaps a salad, soup, or open-faced sandwich with cold smoked salmon. Families eat together, often in silence or light conversation. TV might be on, but quietly. Phones are often set aside. Many go for a walk in nature, no matter the season. Even in sub-zero temperatures, it's common to see people walking in the snow, bundled up, enjoying the silence of the forest or the frozen lakes. Snow crunches under boots. Street lights glow softly. It's not exercise, it's therapy. Home is a sanctuary. Candles, saunas, soft lighting. There's even a word, kotoilo, that means the art of being cozy and content at home. Blankets, slippers, the smell of cardamom buns, or a pine-scented candle. These are the textures of Finnish evenings. The sauna is a national ritual. Whether alone, with family, or friends, it's where stress melts and the mind resets. You sit in silence, sweat, breathe, and sometimes talk, but only when words are needed. Some people bring a book. Others just close their eyes and let the heat do the work. Even socializing is intentional. Plans are made in advance. Small group dinners, board games, quiet cafes. Loud parties and spontaneous drop-ins are rare. It's not that people don't want connection, they just value meaningful connection over social noise. This doesn't mean Finns aren't warm, just that they express it gently, deeply, and privately. A Finnish friend may not hug you daily, but they'll be the first to help you in a crisis, no questions asked. Performing arts cultural details. Privacy is sacred. People don't ask intrusive questions. You are never expected to overshare. Space is a form of respect, both physical and emotional. Flat hierarchies. There's very little status signaling. A CEO might sit next to a junior intern in the same open plan room. Everyone's voice carries weight. Punctuality is non-negotiable. Being late is not just inconvenient, it's rude. Meetings start on time, end on time, and deadlines are taken seriously. Silence is golden. You don't need to fill pauses. Quiet is seen as strength, not awkwardness. Deep conversations happen slowly, and trust is earned over time. Trust runs deep. What's promised will be delivered. Verbal commitments matter. There's no showmanship, only authenticity and follow-through. You don't need to prove yourself with flashy presentations. Your consistency speaks louder. Foreigners sometimes mistake Finnish workplaces as cold. But beneath the quiet is a culture of deep care, high standards, and emotional intelligence expressed through consistency. Relationships develop slowly but last long. If a Finnish colleague considers you a friend, it's for life. This is Finland, a country where silence is comfort, where focus is a gift, where space, time, and inner balance are seen as human rights, not luxuries. It's not loud. It's not fast. But for many, it's the most peaceful way to live and work. Comparison. Emotion versus structure. Energy versus stillness. Let's compare a full working day in Turkey and Finland across all key aspects, and see how two completely different cultures create comfort in their own ways. 6 o'clock wake-up time and morning routine. Turkey. Most people wake around 7 to 7:30 a.m. Mornings are lively. Group chats start early. Family breakfast is a daily ritual, and there's often a lot of noise and spontaneity. Morning energy is high, but can be chaotic. Finland. Wake-up time is around 6:30 to 7 a.m. Mornings are quiet, slow, and individual. People value silence and space before starting the day. Calmness is essential and socially expected. Office building start of the workday. Turkey. Work usually begins around 9 a.m. Employees often ease into the day with tea and informal conversation. The start is flexible, and personal interaction comes before productivity. Finland. Work starts around 8 to 9 a.m. sharp. People begin tasks immediately. There's minimal small talk. Time and mental focus are respected from the first minute. Adult briefcase office layout and atmosphere. Turkey. Offices are open-plan and socially engaging. You'll hear laughter, side conversations, and spontaneous chats. It's dynamic, warm, and relationship-driven. Finland. Offices are open too, but designed for acoustic privacy. Quiet booths, soft lighting, and muted conversations create a deeply focused environment. Interruptions are rare. Compass hierarchy and manager relations. Turkey. Hierarchies are visible but human. Managers are respected, often treated with deference, but also warmth. It's common for a boss to ask about your family or offer personal advice. Finland. Hierarchies are extremely flat. Everyone is encouraged to contribute equally. Managers act as coordinators, not commanders. Open disagreement is acceptable, if done respectfully. For knife would plate lunch and breaks. Turkey. Lunch is around 1 p.m., often with coworkers, and it's a social experience. Conversations range from personal to political. Tea breaks are frequent and part of the workflow. Finland. Lunch is earlier, around 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., usually short and quiet. Some eat alone, some in small groups, either is acceptable. Coffee breaks kavatako are scheduled and calm. Hourglass not on overtime and workload. Turkey. Overtime is common, though often informal. Staying late shows dedication. Deadlines are fluid, and emotional commitment is expected. Burnout risks are higher, but so is team solidarity. Finland. Overtime is rare. Working beyond hours is often viewed as poor planning. Efficiency during the workday is prioritized. Time off is protected, and well-being is institutionalized. Crescent moon evenings and after-work life. Turkey. After work, people socialize in cafes, family homes, or parks. Social connection continues well into the night. Plans change quickly. Emotional energy flows. Finland. Evenings are for recharging. People go home, cook quietly, walk in nature, or relax in the sauna. Socializing is planned, small-scale, and never forced. Emotional space is honored. Performing arts cultural norms and surprises. Turkey. Expect emotional openness. People ask personal questions, invite you to events, and form relationships quickly. Work and personal life often mix. Finland, expect emotional privacy. People share gradually. Once trust is earned, connections are deep and reliable. Work and personal life are clearly separated. Brain final thoughts. In Turkey, the workplace is an extension of life, full of emotion, improvisation, and warmth. It rewards flexibility, social intelligence, and interpersonal energy. But it can also be intense and unpredictable. In Finland, the workplace is a sanctuary of focus and structure. It rewards independence, clarity, and consistency. It offers peace, but may feel distant to those who crave connection. Neither model is perfect, and both are powerful in their own way. So the real question is, what matters more to you, freedom through connection or freedom through space?